Hi, welcome to this week's Rookie and Jacqui. Let's chat allergies. We're on to week 9, and this week our subject matter is eating on planes whilst travelling on your holidays. So, Rookie?
Hi, I'm Ricky from Womby's Kitchen, and Jackie and I have just been having a quick brief chat about this, and I realise I've gone on a rant, so apologies if I do that again. So obviously I have a son with a dairy allergy. We haven't flown long haul, we've only done short haul flights. But getting through airport security, absolutely brilliant. So we carry 2 EpiPens, we carry Piriton in a bottle, and we carry inhaler pumps as well, and we've never been questioned about them or stopped. We've never had to prove anything that to say that Nathan has an allergy and that's why we're carrying it, which I think is brilliant. We've always made sure that we've kept the prescription label on the side of it with his name on it, just just in case that it makes any difference at all. But so I think that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I think for us, the one time that on short haul flights you don't get food anyway, so that's not really an issue. The one time that we could have had food, we booked the flight, and as part of the flight, on the booking form it says, have you got any allergies to declare? So great, I was like, brilliant, this is great, they're going to cater for him. There's a drop down, and the closest we had for him was either vegan or lactose free. Lactose free is absolutely no good for Nathan with a dairy allergy. That's just as bad. So we left it blank. We got to the airport. We do what we normally do. We do actually, because they have an M&S or a Boots. We know there are sandwiches there that he's had before that are fine. So we would either do that, or we would take food from home, which when he was little, we'd always just take food from home.
Mm-hmm.
But interestingly, and I'll stop in a minute, when we got on the flight, I did ask the flight attendants, I said, can I have a look at your allergen menu, please? I'm just really interested to see what you've got on there and what he can't actually eat, because it was a breakfast that we were going to be having. Weirdly, they wouldn't let me hold the allergen menu at all. I had to stand next to the flight attendant looking over her shoulder at the allergen menu. And the allergen menu was for the whole meal. So if you think about an air flight tray, it normally has 5, 6 compartments of different types of food on it. And I thought it would have allergen lists for each of those things, but it didn't. It had it for the entire meal. I kind of get it with the cross-contamination thing, but it does make it really frustrating, because he could have eaten something on there. He couldn't even eat the bread because they didn't have any allergen information about the bread. The bread just came round in a basket.
Yeah.
So I wrote a complaint, and I got a really, really, really lackluster, rubbish response. Just gives me no confidence that they have any. They don't feel like they've got a duty of care, that they need to do anything about it.
So I've heard this before from other people, including fellow allergen trainers who've had this experience themselves. What was the reason they gave for not showing you the menu properly? Did they explain why?
Honestly, I can't remember. They might have done, but literally, she was stood next to me. She had it on a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like I was going to take it away because she was stood next to me. Or maybe it was because I would have taken it, or would I have taken it away? No, anyway, I don't know. She didn't explain, but
Mm-hmm.
she wouldn't even let me hold it in my hands.
Because
It
sometimes
just
it
it's
takes a
crazy.
few, it takes a while to work your way through an allergen matrix or an information, however it's presented. Because, as you say, something on that meal, like the sausages for breakfast, he could have had, and it's
Yeah,
a matter of
exactly.
working your way through the dishes to kind of put in a flexible meal for him. But if you didn't have the information accurately, you couldn't do that. So it's a bit strange that the whole tray is labelled for a particular diet.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, and when we've gone away, we've chosen not to have a meal because, again, for Sophie, it's gluten free, lactose free, no potatoes, no eggs. So that combination wouldn't be possible. So we've, as you say, taken something from the airport, or if it's only 4 hours, we've eaten at the airport before we go, in one of the restaurants. And then, that's fine. So, but it is like you say, it's quite a scary thing that up there in the sky.
I think that's the thing. So
Yeah.
that's the reason that I don't battle it quite so much, because it's again, you putting your child's life in someone else's hands, and
Mhm.
because you are in this tin can in the sky,
Mhm.
it just you feel a little bit more vulnerable.
Mhm.
I think there is so much more they can do. You know, there's training they can give their staff so they know what they're talking about. If you get all this information up front, they're outsourcing all this food anyway.
Yeah,
You know, that they're literally just bringing it in on a trolley, aren't they?
yeah.
There is no reason why they shouldn't be able to have something from a kitchen
Mhm.
that can deal with stuff like that for gluten-free or for dairy-free or whatever it is.
They could buy in a complete meal, you
Yeah,
know, that can just be reheated, you know, gluten-free meal or, you know, whatever. The conversation I had yesterday was with the lady who was vegan, and she was saying that when she's on a flight, you know, the choices for vegan quite often disappear or vegetarian because suddenly on a flight, oh, that looks nice, I'll have that. And they run out and they haven't got enough. You know, when she's pre-ordered it, you know, that's, you know, frustrating. But also, you know, if it's in terms of allergies, then that's totally out of order. If somebody's ordered a meal and it's for a person, it should go for that person.
I think that's disgraceful because they ask you for a reason because they then get that amount of food in
Mm,
to cater for it. For them to then give it out to other people is
mm,
completely wrong. And
yeah.
I do understand the whole thing about people just kind of going, oh, that looks nice. I did work, it's a complete side bit, but I worked in a chalet about 20 years ago, and we were cooking food for people. So we'd get different people coming every week,
Mhm,
and they'd have to fill in a form at the beginning of before they arrived.
mhm,
And we would use that form to inform what kind of food we were doing. So we do vegetarian, we do vegan, we do pescatarian, whatever people wanted. But people would turn up and they would go, "Oh, I see you've got chicken on tonight. Really like chicken." But I was like, "But you put
yeah,
you're a vegetarian." But I do also like chicken. All right, but we've ordered the whole week's food and planned it so we can cater for you being a vegetarian. That really throws everything for a loop.
yeah. I
So
mean, when we used to prepare dinners, if there were, say, 20 vegetarians ordered, we would do more 25, 30 vegetarian meals because, as you say, when people say, oh, can I try some of that? Or I quite like that, you know, can I change my order? Or suddenly I can eat fish on a Friday or chicken on a Wednesday or whatever the rules are. It's, yeah, always be prepared for the unexpected, I think, is from a caterer's point of view. But if, as you said, an airline, they're so rigid in their rules and not even to show you the menu, I find that quite odd, really.
yeah, I found that really hard. And then what they did say was that he could have anything off the trolley that they wheel through the middle.
Yeah,
And I was like, great, well, let me see the allergen menu for that. They didn't have it. They had the booklet, the standard
right,
booklet that they
okay.
give everyone,
Yeah.
a bunch of sandwiches. And I think, no, there was nothing to say. I think they probably had vegetarian and maybe gluten-free, but there was nothing that explicitly said it was dairy free or showed me the ingredients that I could agree that it was dairy free.
Yeah,
Couldn't give him anything. I mean, we did take our own food. We know what happens on these
yeah,
flights,
yeah,
but
yeah.
shouldn't have to. Not when
No,
it comes
no.
with the flight.
And
Love a bit of free food on a flight.
yeah, and when there's so many more people, you know, suffering with allergies now, it's becoming more mainstream. They should have to do it. It's a huge customer base, really, that needs to be catered for. It's not one or two anymore. It's a large proportion.
Yes, and I think going back to what you've said about what you've done at the university and at the restaurants as well, you've put these measures in place. People see that.
Mm,
I would go and pay more for an airline that has these special measures in place because I know that they're taking it seriously, that they care,
mm,
rather than an airline that kind of just treats you with dismissively, I guess.
mm. Yeah.
So I think there is definitely more work to be done.
Oh, I mean, the food is secondary. It's the flight is the reason that, you know,
Of course.
if it's a long flight, or even if it's a short flight, you know, food is part of that journey. You're on your holiday. You know, some people take delight in having the first few drinks on the flight on the plane. So if you can't even have a meal on the plane, let alone a drink, it's difficult. And
Yeah, I think it just sets you up as
mm,
just feeling that little bit kind of tense on the
mm,
flight before you even, you've not even got to your destination yet, and your
yeah,
holiday's already kind of
yeah,
going a bit, oh,
yeah. I think it's interesting that you can get all the prescriptions through your passport control without any problems. That's good to hear because we don't
yeah,
have. She doesn't have an EpiPen, so if she does take antihistamines. But my husband, for his condition, takes a bag of prescriptions with him, and we do tend to put that separately with the prescriptions ready. But he's not been challenged either. So
yeah.
which is good. Good to know.
I guess there is a policy there, which is great, because you know, the idea that your EpiPen or your medication might be taken off you at the beginning of your holiday, I mean, that's horrific.
Yeah,
So
you wouldn't be able to
yeah,
go. You wouldn't be able to go, would you?
no, exactly. You'd have to stop at that point and just turn around. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So anything else you want to get off your chest about airports?
No, sorry, that was a complete rant, wasn't it? Very, very passionate about that one, definitely.
But I'm sure you'd want to go on holiday as soon as possible now, once the restrictions are lifted.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to get away. The boys aren't really bothered about holidays, but I cannot wait. I am desperate to go away somewhere now.
And where's your holiday choice?
Where's my holiday? Oh, Thailand.
Thailand, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I am.
You would need to eat between now, here and Thailand.
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely, yeah. And you know, the kids would not survive an 8-hour flight or 9-hour flight, I don't know what it is now, without having some food. So absolutely.
Yeah.
And how much food do you need to take in your rucksack for 2 boys that are teenagers and growing?
Yeah, you do take a lot. Yeah, cool. Well, let's hope it's not too long before you can book tickets and go on holiday.
And you guys too.
Yeah. I've just not thought about it for this year, because next year maybe.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that's probably where we are too.
Yeah.
I don't think there are going to be, or maybe, I don't know, last minute deals, but we're not actually actively thinking. We had 2 holidays cancelled last year, so we're done with that right now.
It's stressful.
Very.
Cool. So that's this week's chat. So I hope you enjoyed it. Any feedback, comments, we'll look forward to it, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you.
Okay.